and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
Good morning, everyone. I have a little announcement I want to make before we get into everything and before I give my good mornings. There is a very wonderful young man I would like to talk about here for a moment. His name is Marty, and a couple of months ago, Marty came to us because his parents didn't want anything to do with him. He is 17 years old. He is a ROTC candidate. He is a wonderful young man. He is a hard charger. He works hard in school. And it has been a pleasure having him here with us. Now, yesterday at 10:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time, I got a phone call that Marty had been in an accident while he was practicing in ROTC. He was doing an obstacle course, and he had hurt his neck. They told us that he could not feel anything on the left side of his body, that he could not feel anything in his hand, he could not feel anything in his leg, he could not feel anything in his foot, and he could not move them. He was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. We got there shortly after they got him to the hospital. And when we got there, he still could not feel anything in his left hand, his foot, or his leg. He could not move his appendages on his left side. They did a CT scan. They scheduled an MRI, and they said it'd be about an hour wait till he got his MRI. It was 4 or 5 hours later before they finally did the MRI. He had started to get some feeling back in his left hand and his foot. And by 10 o'clock that night, we were on the way home with him. He was able to walk. He was doing much better. The problem here, guys, is that in the middle of all of this, I got a DM about some people talking shit about my show. Now, normally this would not bother me. I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't really give a shit. Talk all the shit you want. Talk all the shit you want in my comment section. By all means, all it does is improve my analytics. The problem is that these people that did this are people that say hail. They are people that call themselves legionnaires. They are people that I have defended on Twitter. They are people that I have given my friendship to. And suddenly they're talking shit about me. They're talking shit about my show. They're talking shit about my wrenches. They're talking shit about my chat. These are people that I have called family. These are people that I would have done anything for. These are people that say hail. These are people that say we stand with DC. And to see this in the middle of all of this that is going on yesterday, I was honestly shocked. So, this morning, and for however long this video stays up, I am giving you one opportunity to come on my show and talk shit like you talk shit all amongst yourselves, you two-faced, double-crossing skanks. Come on my show, talk shit to me, talk shit to my wrenches, and talk shit to my chat, please. Grow a fucking pair and stop talking shit behind everybody's back because you're gutter trash. And I don't have the time and I don't have the inclination when I am dealing with the shit that I am dealing with to deal with you too. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think that your loving overlord would come out of the center of the earth and praise you for talking shit about people that have been with him for much longer than you? Did you think that the people in this chat would give you a thunderous applause because you like to talk shit behind people's back? Is that what you thought? Did you think that your overlord would shower you with praise when he finds out what you're doing? Do you think that you're doing it for him? Is that what you think? Because let me tell you something. I made this show with his blessing. The very first pop culture Loki video I ever did was defending him against Plant Boy. That's the very first video I did, was defending him against Plant Boy. When Plant Boy called him an ism and a phobe, I stood up and said, I stand with Doomcock. And every video I have done since then, every live stream I have made since then has been with his blessing because I support him. Do you think that he's going to be happy about any of this? No. No. So I will give you one opportunity to come on my show and talk shit, the same shit you talked in your little sewing circle in front of all these people. And if you do not accept that, if you do not come in here and say what you said in front of all these people, I better never hear any of this shit ever again. Because if I do, I will screen cap that shit and send it to him myself. And if you think I'm bad, if you think I'm coming and hell's coming with me, you have no earthly idea what he will do. Now, the lines are open. I will send you an invite. Pop in my chat and say send it. And I will be more than happy to do so. If you don't, and I ever hear any of this shit ever again, I'll send it to him and he can deal with it. Right now, all you've got to deal with is little old me, little old Loki with 260 subs and a morning show. If you have nothing else to say, quit talking shit behind people's back and get with the program. Legionnaires are brothers and sisters. We are family. This community has been a family If you don't like that and you want to play your little games, then leave. If not, shut the fuck up, you dumbass skanks. Now, on to Picard. I would love to welcome my brother from another mother and the oldest Legionnaire I know, and I mean time-wise been a Legionnaire, not, age-wise. Dave Bob, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I am doing well. I've got that off of my chest. My boy is doing so much better. He is home. He is doing better. He's sore, but he's great. And then we had to deal with Picard this morning.
Yep, there is that.
Yeah, there is that. It was boring. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. It was boring as fuck.
Well, I will say one thing about it. It was more information dump and overload than any episode so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, they just tried to throw as much as possible at you and expected you not to blink.
Yep. And mainly, it was just all trying to hit you in the feels. I mean, of course, now we're going to have to, throw it out there that there's going to be spoilers if you hang in there. So, do what you need to do.
Yeah, and Broken Entertainment is right. When you waste all your time on filler, you have to do info dump episodes. And Psycho Dwarf 9, good morning. Everyone, good morning. Chris Persia, Psycho Dwarf 9, Chef Zilla, Broken Entertainment, Samantha Joe, Mexican Iron Man, my Mexican brother from another mother, hail. Wesley Simple, Lori Roberts. Do you want to do some of these, Dave Bob?
Jedi Bill 797, Broken Entertainment, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Chief Zilla, Chris Persia, or however you say that, Heiress of Chaos,
Captain Shrek, Josh and Rebecca, Mamamani. Derek McManus, guys, thank you all so very much, and I'm sorry I had to start the day off with drama. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yes, spoilers are inbound. Psycho Dwarf 9, spoil away. MacGyver, spoil it. Yeah, so Riker and Deanna, and it's their daughter, I'm guessing. Their daughter, you get to meet their daughter. You get to meet Riker and Deanna again. Of course, does that put a smile on your face, dude? Seeing them again?
It does me, but, like I said, it's pretty much all contrived.
Yeah. You wanna be like, oh man, the gang's back together, but it's not. It's not all back together. It's not all back together. The gang isn't all back together. We're missing people. And that sucks that they decided to do it like that.
Yeah, it's all a hodgepodge. They can't do anything but just kind of string you along. That's pretty much what they're doing. They'll bring in somebody and then they'll bring in somebody the next episode. It's mainly there just to try to keep you coming back for a little bit more, trying to say, yes, this is the next generation, but don't be fooled. It is not. It is not.
No, it's not. And Broken Entertainment says, I have a question. Why isn't Riker on the bridge of ship? All right. So, big spoilers inbound. Riker and Deanna had a son 2 years after Nemesis. That son was sick with a rare silicate form of spinal meningitis?
Some type of meningitis.
And it was a silicate form. The only way to cure it would be with a positronic matrix, a culture grown in a positronic matrix. There are no positronic matrices. So they retired from Starfleet and they took him to this planet that had healing properties. And they'd had a daughter by then, so they have their son and they have their daughter. And their son ends up dying on this planet. And they have made this planet their home, and Riker and Deanna decide they don't want to leave and go back and be in Starfleet. So they have officially retired. That is why Riker is not on the bridge of a starship, from what I gathered in the episode.
Yes, he does mention the fact that he's still in the reserves to where he could go back in or be called back up if needed.
Have a wonderful Friday, Wesley Simple. You have a wonderful day today and a wonderful day tomorrow, sir. Yeah, they allude to the fact that he could go back in if that's what he wanted, but I don't think he would want to. Now that would be interesting if, you know, at the end of all this, he gets saved by Riker pulling like the Enterprise E out of retirement or something, out of mothballs. That would be funny.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't think they have the money to license it.
No. And Riker and Troy are only in this one episode. They won't be back in this season anyway.
Well, Picard may not be back after this season. We really don't know because he still supposedly has that neurological disease that's killing him.
That's true. And this could all be in Picard's mind. This could all be in Picard's mind. He could be lounging at Chateau Picard, drinking wine, tripping balls on his back porch in his recliner, just imagining all of this. We don't know. You know, that's a theory I saw the other day. This is all in his mind. None of this is actually happening.
Yep.
His Irremotic syndrome. Psychodove 9. Irremotic syndrome. Yes. That's killing him.
Yep. And the lady doctor, you know, they kind of did a little backstory with her when Commander O went and talked to her. And, of course, she did something that no Vulcan would really do, I would think. I mean, because Vulcans are a lot more private in their dealings with humans than that. But she just comes up to her and just does a mind touch like Spock did, my mind to your mind, and showed her what would happen if the synthetics were allowed to come back into the universe. And it was basically just destruction on almost a galactic scale.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear about what I'm about to say, because I am not exaggerating here. What that woman did, what that Vulcan did, what is your name? Agent O? Agent Orange Juice?
Commodore O with the cab door ears.
Okay, that was like the Vulcan version of rape.
Yep.
Okay, when Spock did that in Wrath of Khan, he had no other choice. He was going to his death. He implanted his Katra into Bones because he had no other choice. Like Sarek said, he would have come to you, Kirk. He would have asked you. This is not something they just do without consent. You don't catch them doing Vulcan mind melds without consent. Every time Spock, Sarek, anybody did it, they asked for consent. Even the renegade Vulcans in Enterprise asked first. It's just that one wouldn't stop. Once he got going, it was like, I'm not stopping. And that again was like mind rape. It goes against everything Vulcans do. They don't just grab people and mind meld them without their permission. Whether they're forcing them to see something or not, It is not something that is done by a Vulcan, which makes me believe she's not a Vulcan. She can't be a Vulcan. She can't be a Vulcan and basically mind rape someone.
That's like you said. It's also not something that the Vulcans are even comfortable with, because that to them that's like almost like putting themselves out there, and the feedback can hurt them too. And that's just not something that's done in Star Trek unless there's willing participants. Like you said, it's like a mind rape, and I think it would also be very, very unsettling for the Vulcan too.
Yeah, because that Vulcan's going to get all that person, all the memories that person is going through is going to rush into that Vulcan's mind.
But this is Kurtzman Trek, so they don't worry about little stuff like that.
Yes, MacGyver. Forced mind meld is a crime to Vulcans. It is not acceptable. They do not allow it. They do not condone it. It is not something that is acceptable. Mind melds at one point were completely unacceptable. And then the rules changed. And
you can tell that Dr. Girardi has been haunted with that since. I mean, she's literally, her mind is, in my opinion, broken.
Yeah, her mind's screwed up. Her mind is screwed up. And she has allowed herself to be used in this episode. The emo Romulan that looks like Pecker Spock, Narek. It's Narek, right?
Yeah.
I'm still having a problem following some of these new characters. Narek is tracking the Rocinante, the La Senorita, or whatever the hell it's called, through space. And he's tracking them through a tracking chip that this chick ingested. And Commodore O's like, you have to chew it well.
Yep. She had to chew a little hard candy tracker. I don't know how that works, but hey, there you go.
Yeah. So she now, and what's her name? Zarati? Zarati. Yeah. I'm just like, who are these people? And why are they on board? And why are they going through this? She has to do some kind of medical procedure that's going to kill her to get this tracking device to stop. And the computer warns her, hey, if you do this, it's going to introduce toxics into your body, and she very well may die. And I can't remember, was it the doctor program or the hospitality program? They all look alike.
It was the doctor, because he came out and said, what is the nature of the medical? And then all of a sudden he looks down and sees her and stops talking and rushes to her.
It's completely nonsensical, guys. It is completely just a mess. And I want to, this group that's writing these episodes, I don't think they have any idea what they're doing. I don't. We've talked about that before, but honestly, I don't think they have any idea what they are doing.
This is some of the worst writing. I honestly cannot believe how bad the writing is. I mean, the characters are not written right. Picard is not Picard. It's folks, I'm going to tell you, this is painful for me. I've been a lifelong Star Trek fan, and to watch Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard just rape and pillage this franchise is just, it literally hurts my soul.
And you know what? Chef Zilla brings up a very good point. How did she even know that killing herself would stop the tracker? She never told her what kind of tracker it was, just that she had to chew it.
Yep.
That's all she told her was chew it. Chew it. It's a tracker. It'll track. We'll be able to track you. Chew it.
Yep.
How the hell did she know that killing herself or doing anything like she did was the way to fix it? I understand she's supposed to be the super smart scientist, but she doesn't know what compound it was. She doesn't know what type of tracker it was. All they told her was chew it. You have to chew it. That's it. Thank you, Chef Zilla.
Yep. And she didn't hesitate. Well, maybe a little bit of hesitation, but whenever she injected herself, she immediately went into convulsions and started doing the white stuff out of your mouth like you take cyanide. It almost looked like one of the World War II films where the Nazi general decided he wasn't going to be taken alive, and he used a cyanide pill.
Yeah, like one of the old Bond movies. You will never take me, Mr. Bond. I took my poison capsule in my tooth.
Yeah.
You will never get me, Mr. Bond. And we know how well that worked in Skyfall, the poison tooth.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we don't know that she's dead. She's basically in a coma, so you don't know if she's gonna die or not. But it's soon as she did that, the Vulcan that was, not the Vulcan, the Romulan Narek that was chasing her, they never did say how they knew that he was tracking them. They kept saying they're right on the edge of our sensor range or whatever. And, it's almost like, if he could track them, why did he have to stay right on the edge of their sensor range? Why couldn't he stay back 2 or 3 parsecs to where they couldn't even know he was there and just follow him that way? That's the way the writing is in this show. It's stupid.
Yeah, and the way they talk about the snakehead that Narek's in, they call it a Romulan snakehead.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to have as much firepower as like a cruiser, but it's a little shuttle. It's very fast, very maneuverable, and armed to the teeth.
Yeah, they said that the armament on it was way, way more than you would think the size. Almost, the way they talk about it, it's almost like a Defiant class into some little shuttle-looking thing.
And at first, I thought it was a Borg ship. It almost looked like a little Borg shuttle.
Yeah.
And when he powered it on, of course, you get the green glow. But then, of course, it's the Romulan snakehead, some more shit we've never heard of before that is uber powerful and, perfectly designed for the Romulans. Why doesn't he have a cloaking device?
I don't know. The first thing Picard said when he got to the planet after he met Will was, Will said, shields up. And then he said, you might want to do anti-cloaking or whatever. And he said, the Romulans. So he said, yeah. put up the anti-cloaking shield or whatever. The writing is so bad. And what about the first time Picard, well, it may have not been the first time, but the first time we see Riker and Troy's daughter, what is she doing?
Oh, she's hunting. She's pointing a bow at Picard and is it Dash? No, Soji.
Yep, and the first thing Picard says is, you might want to point that at my head. My heart is pure titanium or some other element. Yeah.
Duranium.
Yeah. It's and then, at first you think they're on a planet with just a bunch of wild people. And then you find out that all she is wearing a costume as Troy and Riker's daughter. And she's playing some kind of game that her brother invented with a language that he invented, and among 7 or 8 other language that her brother invented. And pretty much it goes, information dump, just trying to explain her older brother in just as few words and possible. And basically just trying to get you in your memberberry feels. They're just trying to bring everything in, like, these people, you have a lot invested with them. They're trying to get you invested in all this in a microsecond, and it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I want to give a quick shout out to Bird of Prey 5. Hell, brother, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see your reaction video to this episode as we are doing our reactions now. I'm just, it hurt. I completely agree with you, man. It hurt to watch because you want to love these characters and you want to see Picard hugging on Troy and the friendship between him and Riker. You want to see that and you want to feel that and you want to love these characters. You want to love these characters because you've loved them for so long. You've loved them. You've cared about them. You have wanted to know more. What is in store for the future? And then we get this.
Yeah. And then you go back to the Borg ship or the reclamation project or whatever you want to call it. And creepy sister.
Yeah. Creepy Cersei. Romulan Cersei.
Yeah.
I haven't even learned her name yet. I don't think. I really believe that I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's the Romulan version of Cersei, Game of Thrones Cersei on Picard.
Yeah. The first thing she's doing is questioning Hugh. Hugh's just standing there with a bunch of his Borg expats or whatever they call them, X2s or whatever, the ex-Borgs, and she just, first thing she does is shoot one of them, kills him, and then she starts questioning him, trying to find out where Picard was, how he got out, and all that. And then right after that, he pretty much defies her, and so she just nonchalantly tells the guards whether to kill them all, and they just proceed to kill all the Borg that were there
in front of Hugh. They make you watch.
Well, they kind of made it look like they killed Hugh at the time too. They just kind of cut away. You never did really see what was happening, and just they always make everything so dark and. It's hard to tell what's going on, but you knew that they were just, slaughtering all the Borg that were around with Hugh. And then she just nonchalantly walks off, like her little old badass self.
And of course, we get more lame-o-less of the rings in this episode. Defeating people, shooting at him with phaser rifles or disruptor guns. I never ever thought that the Romulans were the Star Trek version of stormtroopers.
Yes, I was about to make that same point. Great minds think alike.
Because come on, they're like miss, miss, and you're like, oh, come on, shoot him already.
They're literally not more than 10, 15 feet from each other, maybe 20 at the most. If you can't hit somebody with a daggum plasma beam at that range, that thing's moving pretty slow.
Yeah, and I'm just, if I was the villain in that situation, I would be rolling my eyes saying, oh my God, hit him already. Shoot him.
Shoot him. Put your little pinky up next to your mouth. Give me some freaking laser sharks.
Yeah. Give me some freaking laser sharks. Some sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their foreheads. Right.
Yeah. They'll do a lot better job of hitting a target than that.
Oh,
yeah. He he dodges phaser fire and everything else. I mean, I you can't dodge a daggum bullet. I mean, it's Indiana Jones, in the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, proved that. He pulled out his gun and he plastered that guy with the sword. I mean, there you go.
Yeah. And now we've got giant plot armor. Thank you, Speaker for the Dead. I was thinking for that exact word. It's plot armor. We can't kill him. Plot armor.
Yep.
And you've got Hugh basically saying we're gonna retake the cube and turn it against the Romulans.
Yep.
It's just asinine.
And did you notice in the fight? Okay, now it's probably going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm going to get into one of the things that happened during this episode. I'm just going to let you down gently, but Hugh dies. And of course, it's Twisty Sister that does it during this battle when all the other Romulans are getting killed by the space elf. He's jumping around and she's shooting at him and they're shooting at this one and this and that. And all of a sudden she lures Hugh out and he's laying on the ground. And then all of a sudden the space elf jumps out and she shoots at him. And then she just turns around and throws a dart and it just skewers Hugh right in the neck. And then, of course, she's fighting this whole time and with him kind of like a one-on-one duel after all the other ones are gone. And she's actually kind of holding her own against him, which is silly because, he's twice her size and, but there you go, plot armor for her too.
Yeah, and Samantha Joe makes a great point. Good God, he was one of the best characters on the show, damn it. And one of the only people not to immediately talk nine kinds of shit to Picard.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Deanna didn't give him a long-ass speech about why he was there and why he shouldn't have come there and what he's done and yada, yada, yada. I'm surprised she didn't immediately chastise him as soon as he showed up. That
would have been so much against her character, though. I don't think even those writers are that stupid. But then again, it is Kurtzman.
Yeah, it's Kurtzman, and that's exactly who we're dealing with here. There were rumors swirling around that he was out, and suddenly Bob Iger's out as CEO of Disney out of nowhere. If you guys haven't seen, check out Geeks and Gamers video on the latest. He pretty much lays out exactly why Iger's going, and I believe it. So, but yeah, they need to get rid of this shit. They need to get rid of the people running these shows into the ground because that's all we're getting. We're getting Star Wars run into the ground. We've gotten Star Trek, Doctor Who, all these great IPs just nosedived.
Hey, did you also notice during their fight that when she was about to get killed, suddenly the transporters are very well working. She can actually hit some kind of, I guess she hit some kind of a button on her person where after he throws his dart, the same dart that she killed Hugh with at her, she beams out just before it hits her. The plot holes in this thing are just so stupid. I mean, 1 minute you can't beam Soji out into space, but the next you can save yourself with one little touch of a button when a knife's just almost at you. I mean, it's the writing is just so sporadic and just it contradicts itself in so many ways.
Yeah, and that's something Chef Silla brings up is that Troy did lecture him, told him to take a nap. That is true. Riker scolded Picard about his arrogance. That is true. Yeah. And yeah. Picard's like the least arrogant son of a bitch in the universe.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's your writing, It just, they don't know the characters. And that's just high school musical writing.
Yeah, Gilmore Girls level high school musical writing. And that's what Kurtzman has given us is Josh and Rebecca Momini, given the amount of times Troy's screwed up, she kind of has no place to talk. It's true. Not that it matters. Nope, it doesn't. But you are right. You are right. Troy has screwed up a bunch. She is not the all-knowing, all-seeing eye. She could feel feelings off of people. She couldn't read their minds. She couldn't tell you what they were thinking, except for Riker, because she had the Imzadi bond thing going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole writing style of Star Trek Discovery and Picard is all about feelings. It's not about, any type of a military organization. And, everybody can say what they want to. Starfleet may not have been, quote unquote, a military organization, but I mean, it had a military chain of command, and people, you don't just do everything by, I'm not feeling like I should be able to do this today or whatever. It's just all feelings. It's no discipline. There's no discipline in this whole show.
No, there's not. And again, Chef Zilla and everyone is so antagonistic towards each other. Rio's screaming at Rafi. Yeah, they're screaming at each other. They're arguing with each other. Sakadorf, now brothers and sisters, I had a long night. I'll listen, but probably won't contribute much by chat. Brother, we're about to sign off here in a couple minutes. So, Dave, Bob, what is your thought on this episode? What would you rate this episode?
To me, it was one of the weaker episodes. I mean, it was pretty much all they were trying to do was pull you in with the member berries and the feelings, trying to, hit you in the feels, and it just didn't work. I'll probably have to say it's a 2 or a 3.
A 2 or a 3, even with Riker and Troy.
It's actually because of that. I mean, that all they're trying to do with this is that's what's bringing you in. They're suckering you pretty much, basically, because that's not Riker and Troy. They're just two people that have given up, basically, and just retreated, almost like Picard did to his chateau.
Yeah. And yeah. And like very much like a Jake Soywalker that we know.
Yep.
So I'm on the level that I would give it a 2 or 3. I really was waiting for this one, guys. Tyrion Beard, 1 taco out of 5. I'm gonna start using that, brother. Thank you. 1 taco out of 5. I agree. 1 taco out of 5. I really was looking forward to this episode because of Riker and Troy. I wanted to see what they were going to do when they got a little bit of the family back together. And they didn't do much. But complain and worry and shields up on my home. Shields up around my home and anti-cloaking fields engaged. And yeah. It was good seeing them. It was good seeing them. I won't say that it wasn't. It was good seeing them, but the episode sucked. So, I want to throw this out there really quick, guys. I know I said I was going to talk about Manu in the opening, the actor that played Icheb on Voyager. I threw that out there that I was going to do that today. Circumstances changed because of yesterday. I'm going to have, hopefully Mexican Iron Man is still in the chat. Mexican Iron Man should be on tomorrow, barring any difficulties or barring any last minute changes. Mexican Iron Man will be here tomorrow, and we will be doing the show together, and we will talk about Manu and what has happened with him and why CBS has apparently blacklisted him from the conventions, from being on any of the shows, from returning for anything. We will get into that tomorrow. So I said I was going to do that today, but like I said, circumstances changed because of yesterday. So I think we could both agree that in the overall between us, we'll give it a 2.5.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Okay. A 2.5, guys. Shit, that's bad.
Especially when you consider the cast.
Yeah. When you consider we've got Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis, that it's that low. F, cancel culture.
Yeah.
Josh and Rebecca Momini, F, cancel culture. Yes, guys. Yes.
And
All right.
they had to kill off Hugh. I mean, they can't help themselves.
Nope. And see, dude, I told you early on. I said, if they kill him off and they fuck this up and they don't have them on screen together, it's going to be a travesty of justice. I had a feeling they were going to kill him off.
Well, I enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you having me on. And we'll try to be back next week to give you some more of this Drek.
Yes, and I so very much appreciate it. I said it before, and I will say it again. I could not continue to do this without you, brother. It's so bad that it just, I mean, if it was just me by myself, it'd just be depressing. At least with you, I can talk about it and bounce that back and forth for you, and we can bounce it back and forth off of each other and at least have a discussion about it. I don't know what I would do if I was still doing these on my own. So thank you, brother.
I don't think I could watch it if I wasn't being able to discuss it afterwards.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Lady Gravemaster, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Kathy Star, Samantha Joe, Psycho Dwarf 9, Broken Entertainment, Tyrant Beard, Axonar Comics, Jedi Bill 797, Chefzilla RR, Josh and Rebecca Momomini, Samantha Joe, thank you all so very much. Heiress of Chaos, Mexican Iron Man, MacGyver, Akasha, thank you all so very much for being here. We absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for the chat. Oops, I clicked that twice. We will catch you guys tomorrow with my special guest and the co-creator of Taco Tuesdays, Mexican Iron Man. See you guys later.
Goodbye.